Generation is so out of touch with what the going rate for every.
It's not just that they're out of touch, it's that they don't want to learn any better. I've had this conversation with so many old people, and no matter what, even after they finally learn and they finally admit that they are wrong, eventually they go back and they go back to just not believing it again. The whole, if you just don't buy XYZ, if you just save up, if you just don't spend money on this, you can afford a home, you can afford this, you can afford that. They don't get it. And they see their kids buying houses for over $1 million. And some of them are helping their kids buy houses for over $1 million. And they know how much their kids make. And it's totally fine because, for their kids, they're trying their hardest. But these other people's kids, well, they're not trying hard enough. They're not saving up enough. Because even if you're making minimum wage, you should be able to afford a home. People actually believe that. And you break it down, you show them the math, you show them all, even in the best case scenario, with everything going on, even if they're making double the minimum wage, all of that. You show them how impossible it is, even to just rent a house. They don't believe it. They refuse to accept it. And it's because they never had to deal with what we are dealing with. But they are the reason that we are dealing with what we are dealing with. So they reject the reality that they created. They refuse to believe that they created this world. Because their parents' generation, the greatest generation and all them, they had it bad. They fought through wars and the Depression and all that, and that was tough. That was a hard time. And the boomers and some of the older Gen Xers, they also didn't have the easiest of times. There were a lot of things in their lives that were harder than ours. But financially speaking, they grew up in one of the best eras in human history. And they squandered it. And they allowed it to get worse and worse. And the environment to get destroyed. And all of the things that now make young people depressed and weary of the future, they allowed for it to happen. Because they wanted to live their best lives. And now they're upset at us because we're saying that minimum wage isn't good enough and what they have to offer us isn't good enough. And you can get them to admit it. You can wear them down because they know they're wrong. It won't last long. The next time you talk to them, they'll pretend like they never learned because they didn't, because they don't want to.